residents are getting the best value for their money. With that, I'll have very little to say, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Oliver.
Okay. I'm going to move to the podium. Good evening, and I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to hear the feedback from the citizens, and also I'm just going to be very brief and just go over a few things. And first of all, is it not on? Is that better? First of all, I know that the council members has seen this before. This is the community survey that was done by our communications division, and this has been presented before, but I'm just going to touch on just on the few top items. And of course, in the very high priority category, you have crime prevention, and then in your high priority, you have the land use, planning and zoning, economic development, police services, code enforcement, and traffic enforcement. And these are the combination of the most important to the people that filled out this survey, and also it's a combination of the satisfaction rank that was given based on their level of satisfaction that they said they were provided from these services. There were 510 people that actually filled out this survey for the communications division, and submitted that for their review and also your review. Next was the one that we did most recently. It was a priority ranking that was put out on the with a link on our website, and it was put out on December the 15th, and it closed on the end of January. And there were 198 people that actually responded and filled out this survey. They were given 16 different categories to rank and choose which ones that they thought were important for the and they were essential services that were provided by the city. And then they would take each one of those 5 of those 16 that they chose, and then they would rank them in the order of which ones they thought of those 5 were the most important to them. And what we found from this is very similar to what was the same as with the community survey done by the communications. There was a little bit of difference, but not a lot. This is the total numbers, and what this is the actual when someone selected one of these categories, it is the rank. There were 97 people that selected police, contract police, and public safety. It is not taking into consideration their ranking. This is just how many of those actually selected that as one of their top 5. And what the highest ones of these were, of course, once again, public safety. And then it comes to housing, bicycle and pedestrian, parks and recreation, education support. And then as you see, a lot of these same topics came up as in the community survey that was given, like economic development, that's on down that list. And then next is the ranking total, and what this gives a weighted average to the actual which ones were picked by the person that was responding to the survey, and then which ones were actually ranked the highest once they picked those 5. And once again, public safety came in first on it, and then you see a lot of the same ones again, even though these are have a little bit heavier weighted ranking if they were put as their first priority and then their second priority. And that's why you see that number of 104 that is higher than on the previous slide. And there was one category in the, you'll see it down toward the bottom at the 3%, the other. You can click on it, and it was a free box where you could type in whatever you felt like was important to you if one of those something that's important to you is not covered in the 16 categories. So that's the actual additional category there that is just a free space for them to write into. And we will give this full report to each of the council members for y'all to review. We just got the results back, and so I just wanted to share just, the highlights of it this evening, and then I'll be able to give you the full report from that survey in the next few days. Here's just a summary of the general fund budget from that we're currently in right now in 2026. And then it's also got 23, 24, and 25 that's also included in it. But you'll see that our total revenue for this budget in 2026 is $29,857,387. And you will see that the expenditures and transactions out, you have your general government, which are all your administrative offices, such as the mayor and council, city manager, my office, and so forth, which comes up to $8,707,000. And then you get into your public services, your planning, your youth, family, senior services, public works, and then that's your total expenditures of $25,681,000 before you get into contingencies. And then also our debt services, and also money that we move to work to go toward projects such as in our CIP. And that gives us a total projected fund balance at the end of this year of $9,215,877. And I just wanted to touch on each one of those before I turned it over, because this is really a session to hear from the public and listen to them. But I just wanted to touch on those few things before I gave it to them in case they had any questions about that. But if I don't have any questions, I'll be glad to turn it over to them at this time.
Is this the time?
Yes, I would. We can take comments from either online or people that are here in person
Certainly.
first.
Mr. Schroeder, please come over. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thanks.
Thank you. For purposes of identification, I'm Mark Schroeder. I am the chairman of the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And although we have not voted for me to support the comments I'm about to make, I'm pretty sure they're not unique to me. We are looking at about 3 complete street projects a year. At that rate, we will become a complete street city maybe in the year 2175. I don't know. It's going to be an awful long time before this city has complete streets. I would encourage the council, as a citizen, to look at budgeting for more than 3 projects a year. And some of those may be sidewalks, some of those may be bike lanes, some of them may be in the current travel lane and with a narrower street. Some of them may be paving part of the easement on somebody's property. There's a controversy on virtually every one of them. We understand that. You understand that. Still, three a year is not enough. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we have been actually adding more and more money every year to bring more completed streets in College Park. I believe last year we spent about close to $1 million. So we'll be supporting it. I would like.
Costs are going up.
Exactly. And we'd like to see College Park more walkable, and if possible, bikeable as well. Thank you. I would like to take more comments, and I also want to recognize some of my city council colleagues on the days, Councilmember Hugh and Councilmember Jordan and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey with us, and Councilmember Ms. Mitchell joined online as well. Thank you all for joining. All right, I'm sure there will be other comments. Please come over. Mr. Dorsch.
Yes, I'm Dave Dorsch. I've lived here for over half a century. And one of the things is I know where you can get about $750,000 right now. All you have to do is sell the property at 4704 Calvert Road, which has been sitting there vacant for about the last 8 months. The city does not need that property. They shouldn't be in the housing business. That's not why we have a city government. They need to sell that property and put the money in. If they've got so much money, then just reduce our taxes or something. But it's a crime to let that building sit there like that for all this time. I mean, the windows, last time I looked, are still painted on the inside. You can't even see out. So the city should really think very seriously about, why do we have that house? We need to sell it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. Please come over. State your name for the record.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Drew Marani, and I'm a resident of College Park. I just wanted to speak very briefly. You'll recall that in April 2024, the Mayor and Council approved $150,000 for a pilot program for the needs-based student rental subsidy program. And by the time that vote had passed, it was too late in the budget cycle for fiscal year 2025 to see if any funds could be allocated to see an expansion of that program. But last spring, around this time last year, city staff administered, I believe to my knowledge, a survey trying to collect some data on the efficacy of that program. So I think this is a perfect time to take a look at some of that data and see what an expansion of that program might look like for the next budget, and what kinds of changes might want to be made, how much money might be worth putting into a program like that, given that we put so much effort into that initial design. Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you for your leadership. Appreciate that. Anybody else? I do not see anyone. I also want to recognize that this is the very first listening session. There will be one more scheduled, which will be on the March 4th. And as you know, the budget is not out yet. Budget is still being worked on, and our staff, our city manager, Mr. Young, and Mr. Olive, they are working very hard right now in preparing this budget. And that's the reason we are here, to listen to you and hear from you. And based on your input, we'll make changes. Our staff will make changes and present to us. So budget will be coming out, as you can see in the calendar, I believe on March 20th, am I correct? So that's the date when the budget will be published online and presented to the City Council. So we still have more than a month for our staff to work on. We still will be getting your input. We will welcome your input. If you're most welcome to speak on anything you have on your mind. And you can also write to us, write to our city manager, our staff, of any other ideas you may have, in case you want to share those later on. Thank you. Mr. Catlin, come over here.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. I do not see any virtual hands. Mr. Young, do you have any further comments?
No, I was going to ask you to see if anybody virtually online wanted to speak.
Ms. Allen, do you have something?
Mr. Biffle is online with his hand raised.
Okay, thank you. Can you allow him?
Thank you.
Unfortunately,
This is Richard Biffle.
Thank you,
I'm a
Mr.
non-resident
Biffle.
taxpayer of College Park. I'd like to address an issue that comes up a lot, and that's housing issues. There's often an initiative. There are many initiatives to try to offset housing costs with some sort of public subsidy. The effect is generally to keep taxes higher for everyone so that a few people benefit. And we saw that a couple of years ago with the rent raffle for students. Taxes were raised on apartment buildings, which are an indirect tax on the people who live there. And then a few lucky people won a subsidy for maybe part of a month of rent. I don't think that those programs are useful. I don't think that they help the real issue of high housing costs which is lack of supply, and the state is especially responsible for housing students at the University of Maryland. So I think it'd be better to look to the state to help solve the problem instead of broad-based taxes that increase the input costs of housing. Even though tenants may not see how property taxes affect them, when you raise input costs, you raise the cost of the product. If steel costs go up or tariffs go up on automakers, auto prices go up. And if property taxes go up, then rents go up. So I hope that you will look to the root cause of the housing problem and not use subsidies that are counterproductive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the input. Mr. Young, do you have something? You said, please go ahead.
That is all we have. If there's no more questions or comments for us as city staff, our next, again, May 4th at 6 p.m., again, here in council chambers.
March,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's on March 4th in council chambers. And we will, obviously, you can send comments or questions as well. We typically get questions after the budget's delivered on March the 20th, and then have an open dialogue and provide those answers to the public and to council as there's questions on the budget. This year, we anticipate it's going to be a tight budget year for us. We are not anticipating having to raise taxes this year. If there's anything, we might have to cut back on some budgets first to be able to meet some of the requirements. We do have a 3% cost of living allowance for our employees that we have factored in. And we have a number of projects that were initially scheduled to come online, which have been pushed back for a number of years. So we are actually, this time, we were looking at the LV Collective, the Rambler project actually being close to being complete. As you can see, it still has a ways to go before that's done. We have a number of other projects as well, Aviation Landing project in District 2, and then we have the College Park Towers, and we have a few other projects that are still coming beyond. So we'll also be looking at pushing off some of that implementation into the future. One of the other things that we'll be considering is the having to operationalize our Duval Field amenity for our residents, and making sure that we have staffing to be able to handle the coordination and of everything that needs to happen there and the operation of that new facility, so that we can maximize its potential. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Yeah, thank you. And I know, Mr. Olive, you made a wonderful presentation a couple of weeks ago about the budget and revenue outlook, what kind of property tax revenues, which is one of the main sources of revenues. Can you talk to that? Is this going to be kind of the same we had in the past, more or less?
It looks like, and thank you first of all for saying that, and I appreciate everyone coming tonight that has given input, and because we do like to get this input before we actually get finished with the budget. That's why we didn't have a whole lot of budget to present today, because we want to take all these ideas and put them into the budget, and instead of presenting the budget then have to make a lot of changes. We did get some numbers from the state about our property tax assessments, and it just preliminary, I was still going through different departmental budgets and having those meetings and getting those, but it looks like the assessment values will come in at about $600,000 more than it was last year, just based on the assessed values that we're seeing so far of commercial and residential properties. So we don't see a great increase, but we do see some increase there. And but we'll have more exact numbers for you fairly soon as we can go through those, and then take into consideration the homestead tax credit and everything that is deducted from that.
Thank you.
Sure.
That's a good number. 600,000 at least. It's not in the negative.
No, it should not be in the negatives. It will not be.
Thank you. It really means that we are growing. Thank you. Any other questions from my colleagues? Even though we are here to listen. Councilmember Mitchell, thank you for joining. Do you have any question?
No, Mr. Mayor, I was listening.
Thank you. We are all. All right. Thank you. So again, thank you all for coming. And this is the first time I think we are doing this session so early in the season, budget season. And I've been, and many of us have been on the council for a long time, and we normally engage the community after the budget is published. But this is probably the very first time we are doing it before the budget is published. So I want to thank our staff for doing it. Because that's the idea, to listen to the community and hear from them, and based on that, we prepared the budget. Mr. Young?
We do have plans to still have meetings with the public after the council budget session that we've had to brief the community. We've actually already scheduled, I think it's at Berwyn, the Berwyn Civic Association, and we'll probably hit a few others that if they would like us to come out and talk about the city's budget. But we'll also have some opportunities to meet with staff. And again, people can present their request, and we'll keep working on that budget until it's finalized. If the council can't come to an agreement on the budget and a consensus on the budget, then the city manager's submitted budget becomes the budget of the city. That is yet to happen, and I appreciate that has not happened. And I fully think that the council will be able to come to a resolution that will be able to move forward.
Thank you. That is a wonderful work between the staff and the city council, the entire budget process. The staff does a fantastic job in preparing the budget, the draft budget we call, and publishes that and present that to the city council, and then city council discuss that. They make some amendments, not a whole lot, and then approve it. So that has been the way it's going. And what happened in the past, if you can recall, when the budget is published, we go out to the community and present it, and we get input at that point, and those input still will happen, as Mr. Young was telling. So based on those input, the city council will have the opportunity to make amendments. So it's a joint work between the staff and the city council. So everyone is involved in, and you are most important, because your input is so important to make the amendments and prepare it. Thank you. So we still had actually one. I think we had until 7 o'clock, but we can give it back to you at least half hour. But again, we'll welcome you with any comments you may have. Please email them or call your council members, contact them, and the staff will consider them, certainly. Thank you all. So with that, I can close this session. Thank you, staff, for your help. Appreciate it. And thank you all for joining again. Good night.